In the bitter winds of Winterfell, Theon Greyjoy, emboldened by ambition and desperation, stands at the gates of the castle that once sheltered him. After years spent in the north as a ward of House Stark, he now leads a small band of Ironborn soldiers to seize control, eager to prove his worth to his family. Bran Stark, the young lord of Winterfell, is forced to surrender his home, his childhood castle now transformed into a prison of iron and betrayal. As Theon settles into his newfound authority, he grapples with the resentment of the Stark bannermen and the very people he is meant to rule. When Sir Roderick Castle, the master-at-arms, openly insults him, Theon feels the weight of his inadequacy and responds with violence. In a brutal and desperate act to assert his control, he orders Roderick's execution, faltering only briefly before he delivers the fatal blow, a scene that starkly illustrates his turmoil. Meanwhile, Bran, haunted by prophetic dreams of the invasion, watches helplessly as his world collapses around him. Osha, the wildling woman who cares for him, begins to plot their escape, sensing the danger that lies ahead. Far beyond the wall, Jon Snow and his fellow Night's Watchmen embark on a grim scouting mission in the treacherous Frostfangs. They stumble upon a group of wildlings, and as the tension escalates, they are forced to kill all but one. Ygritte, the fiery wildling woman, captures Jon's attention with her defiance and wit. When tasked with executing her, Jon hesitates, and she seizes the moment to flee. Pursuing her through the icy wilderness, he finds himself lost and vulnerable, forced to rely on Ygritte for warmth as night falls. Their shared survival ignites a connection fraught with tension and temptation, as Ygritte challenges Jon's vows of celibacy, hinting at the freedom the wildlings embrace. Meanwhile, in the heart of King's Landing, civil unrest brews among the populace, weary of King Joffrey's tyrannical rule. As Joffrey and his retinue return from seeing off Myrcella, the crowd erupts in anger, hurling insults and demands for food at the royal party. The situation spirals out of control when a handful of the starving citizens throw manure at Joffrey, prompting him to unleash his guards. The ensuing riot erupts with brutal force, the mob attacking the royal entourage and tearing a septon apart in their frenzy. In the chaos, Sansa Stark finds herself isolated, cornered by the angry crowd, fear coursing through her veins as the rioters close in. Just when despair seems inevitable, Sandor Clegane, the Hound, emerges from the tumult, cutting down her attackers with merciless efficiency. This act of savagery leaves Sansa conflicted. She is both terrified and thankful for the brutal man who saved her life, deepening her complex feelings toward him. In the north, Robb Stark, leading his rebellion against the Lannisters, becomes increasingly captivated by Talisa Maegir, a field nurse from Volantis. Their conversations about war and duty reveal a growing bond, yet Robb remains bound by his promise to marry one of Lord Walder Frey's daughters, a strategic alliance that weighs heavily on his heart. Catelyn Stark, his mother, senses her son's inner turmoil and gently reminds him of his responsibilities, setting the stage for potential conflict between his desires and his obligations. Elsewhere, Arya Stark finds herself entangled in the machinations of Harrenhal, serving as cupbearer to Tywin Lannister. With her true identity hidden, she eavesdrops on the discussions of power and strategy that unfold around her, gaining invaluable knowledge about the Lannisters' plans. When Lord Peter Baelish arrives, Arya's heart races at the thought of being recognized. Fortunately, she evades detection, but the threat of exposure lingers like a shadow. Arya has struck a deal with Jaqen H'ghar, the enigmatic assassin, who has agreed to kill 3 people for her. With her second target named, the cruel torturer Amory Lorch, Arya feels a mix of dread and excitement. Jaqen swiftly fulfills her wish, eliminating Lorch before he can threaten Arya's secret, reinforcing her survival instincts in a world fraught with danger. Meanwhile, in the exotic city of Qarth, Daenerys Targaryen remains determined to reclaim her throne. She seeks alliances with the powerful merchants Zarozo and Daxos and the 13, but her pleas go largely ignored. Frustrated but resolute, Daenerys continues her quest for ships and soldiers. However, the episode culminates in heartbreak when she discovers that her beloved dragons have been stolen, plunging her into despair and rage as she realizes the dangers lurking within the city and the stakes of her mission. As tensions mount across Westeros, the themes of power, sacrifice, and identity weave a complex tapestry of struggle and resilience. The characters confront the demons, navigating a treacherous landscape where loyalty is tested, and the pursuit of power often comes at a steep price. In The old gods and the new, the brutal reality of life in Game of Thrones becomes increasingly evident. In this world, the quest for dominance is as perilous as it is relentless.